We have been talking about the role of a DPO and how various regulations have been looking at the role of a DPO in their jurisdictions. Let's talk about the Singapore DPO privacy laws today. Welcome to my YouTube channel where you get new content on data privacy on a daily basis. So what are the regulations in Singapore and what is the history behind them? The Personal Data Protection Act was enacted in 2012 in Singapore, which was a comprehensive framework for data protection, especially in terms of personal data, the data that belongs to an individual and can identify an individual. Personal Data Protection Commission was set up. That's the name given to the regulators in Singapore. In 2014, there were some basic amendments brought into this, and the most important of that was do not call registry, which means that any user who does not want his phone number to be used for unsolicited marketing can send a notification at the do not call centralized registry for Singapore, and anyone who wants to do marketing has to first cross check if that number is listed in DNC, then he is not going to use that number for his marketing efforts. That was a very good step taken by Singapore in 2014. In 2020, they further amended this PDPA of theirs and they brought into very important things like mandatory data breach notification. You have to inform the Personal Data Protection Commission if there is a personal data breach. The right to data portability and the basic consent, the concept of taking a consent from the user when you are getting his user, and data portability, as we understand, it means that you are allowing the user to request you to give him his data back in a commonly readable format so that he can share it with any other data processing third party. And they increased the level of financial penalties that the regulators, that is PDPC, can put in case they see a data breach. In 2021, they brought in another amendment which was largely around DNC, and now the DNC says that even if you obtain a number from a company that sells you the number, from directories, or from any software that extracts personal information through any online portal, even then those numbers are also need to be verified on the Singapore's DNC list before making a call to them for an unsolicited marketing. So these are very, very strict things that Singapore brought in. When it comes to DPO, they said that DPO is mandatory for all organizations. Any organization that is processing personal information has to have a DPO who is going to ensure that there is a compliance in handling that personal information set as per the law, that is PDPA, set in the Singapore by the Singapore Commission. And he also has to help his organization develop good data protection practices. As far as his position in the organization is concerned, he is an independent senior person who is integrated with other compliance rules, but largely focused on data privacy for the personal information. He should be given adequate resources to fulfill his role. His qualification, he should have some background of data protection, about the law and about the information security. He should have experience in implementing data protection rules, and he should have the ability to communicate and raise awareness. Now this is something that we talk in all regulations, because as we have been speaking every day, it's the DPO's job to communicate the regulation to stakeholder, to the bottom line person, anyone throughout the organization. Why? Because anyone touching the personal information is responsible. So the communication skills of a DPO are a very, very critical aspect in any regulation, and I've seen that for all the regulations they do talk of the communication skill of the DPO, apart from the fact that he should have good skills in handling risk and incident response, because the incidents response that can get matured into being a breach, and breach notification is important, right? Even PDPC says that you have to notify to the data subject and to the regulators that there has been a breach. His core responsibility is compliance monitoring, right? He has to create practices in his organization, processes in the organization, that anyone processing personal information does it automatically to be able to take care of the compliance, right? To be able to take care of handling personal information very, very carefully with respect to the compliance. So he has to help the company develop the privacy policies and notices, and he himself has to get those things incorporated in each and every part of the organization. He should be able to handle the access of data and correction requests that come in from users. Training and awareness is another aspect which we discussed in the previous slide as well. and ever. Training itself is teaching or explaining to each and every, and actually it is teaching in classroom teaching organized by the HR, cross-functional, interdepartmental, because one piece of personal information from a customer or a vendor is being used by multiple departments in any organization. But despite giving trainings, the awareness has to be also taken care of so that the people are aware of how they need to handle the personal information. So is training and awareness is also a very important core responsibility of a DPO as per the Singapore's PDPA Act. And last but not the least, breach management, right? Breach management, the moment there is a breach, the data subject as well as the commission has to be informed about it so that the data subject can take necessary precautions to protect himself, and you also have to let them understand what is your mitigation plan and why should they be able to trust you that this kind of a situation would not happen again. This is what about the role of a DPO in Singapore privacy laws. I hope you like the content of my video. Please press the bell and the like icon. Share my channel with your friends who want to understand more about data privacy. Share your feedback on the comment section and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you have not already done it. Thank you.